Hi everyone, it's Margaret with Creative Stamping with Margaret, and I'm here with another of the Christmas in July projects. We're winding down the month, so I'll be ending our focus on just Christmas projects in August, but of course with the holidays that'll be approaching quickly as summer is almost over, it seems. We will still have projects to show you, but on this one I made a ribbon tag and of course a box to go with it, and I'm not going to show making the box. I will have the details on my blog, the measurements that I used for this. This is just a small 1/2 inch deep box, which I'll be using to put some little stocking stuffers in most likely. And I'll have a link for a great video on how to construct boxes. So I'm not going to recreate the wheel on that one. Stampin' Up! Has a great video that shows you how to make boxes of any size that you would like. But I am going to focus on this tag. And as I said, I'm calling it a ribbon tag. And you'll notice that I'm using some new products in that, as well as, if you'll notice the designer series paper for the top of this box, you'll be able to get this free because it's one of the celebration items when the mini catalog goes live on August 3rd. That's coming up quickly, so be on the lookout for that. So the ribbon, some of these are new ribbons, some are in the annual catalog. You'll notice I've used the Snowflake wishes and the Snowflake dies that coordinate with that for this Merry Christmas sentiment. This is a new stamp set that is in the mini catalog, and just love all of these sayings, holiday sayings and sentiments, and the fonts. So you'll be able to get that starting Tuesday, August 3rd. You'll be able to order. And of course the celebration brochure. A couple other items that I'm using. This is a rose gold 6x6 metallic specialty paper. This is available again August 3rd. All of the details will be on my blog, so don't worry about trying to make notes. But you see, this is just gorgeous gold paper, and there's some rose gold in there as well. And then I'm also using this bedazzling specialty paper. This is another of the free items that you can get in the celebration, when celebration kicks off. But let me get started showing you how to assemble the ribbon tag. Let me move the box to the side. I'll leave the ribbons here. And all of the details as far as the lengths that I have cut this and the materials used will be listed, so don't worry about taking a lot of notes. But I have used the metallic mesh ribbon. You'll need 2 pieces of that. That's approximately 6 inches. Then I'm using 2 pieces of the white ribbon, and this is from the Flowers for Every Season combo pack, and that is in the annual catalog. We're also using 2 pieces that are roughly 5 inches of the fine art gold metallic ribbon. Then this is a new ribbon that's available that's in the mini catalog. It's a cherry cobbler metallic ribbon. And then this gorgeous gingham. It's black and white gingham. I was trying to see if it had the, it looks like it's about 1/4 inch, and it is. So we're using that because that touch of black just goes so well with the other colors. It seems to ground everything. And of course, it goes great with the colors in that paper. And just so you know, that the name of that paper is Peaceful Prints, and it has some gorgeous holiday prints in it. As a matter of fact, the deer, I almost went with that, but thought with the plaid, red and black plaid, but decided I liked the one with the deer on front. So the other items we'll need besides our ribbons are out of the rose, out of the gold metallic. You'll cut using the Snowflake dies. You'll cut one large one, then another large one out of the cherry cobbler, and then I have used the stamp in the Snowflake wishes and cherry cobbler to stamp the snowflake, and then I use the corresponding die to cut that, and I stamp that with the cherry cobbler. You will also need a piece of cherry cobbler red. As you notice, I've used that as our base on the back, and this is using the second next to the smallest of the circle dies, layering circle dies. If you have a punch, you could use a punch. This is roughly 1 1/4 inches in size. And then I cut from the Bedazzling specialty paper another of the snowflakes. And all of these were cut using the snowflake dies, and I thought I had them by the side. Yes, it's the So Many Snowflakes dies, and these are from the current annual catalog. So those items. So one of the first steps you'll notice with this metallic ribbon that I have taken and I have colored that, and I'm going to show you how I did that. Just move some things out of the way here. So I like to use just a piece of copy paper, and I'm using my dark cherry cobbler stamping blends and the brush tip, and then I just lightly brush over this. Takes the color very nicely, gives it just a nice little color, and I'm not worrying if it's completely covered because you like a little of that metallic shimmer. I turned it on to the reverse, and the same thing. And the nice thing about alcohol inks, as you know, they dry very quickly. So by the time I'm through coloring and get everything moved out of the way, they will be dry and ready to tie to make our ribbon. Hope y'all all have been having a great week. We had a great weekend and a busy week with grandchildren, which was a lot of fun. And so, of course, now I'm in recoup mode. So now that I have those ready, the next thing you'll need is some baker's twine, and I'm just going to pull off a little piece of white baker's twine here. And I found this is the easiest way to assemble these. Obviously, I got a large piece. You don't need that large of a piece, but then you just start laying your pieces down, and I do sort of an X pattern on those. I got one of these a little longer than the other. I'll have to trim that. And then I like to go in, I think I went in with the white. And the same thing, I'm just layering these over, creating an X. Because once you start pulling them together, you'll have a little play in them so that you can adjust. Whoops, that called on my hands. My hands are so dry. I was squeezing lemons and did not have gloves on, which I should know better because the acid really just does a number on my hands. So it has really created a little bit of a rash. And I know better, but you know how it is. Sometimes we just are in a hurry and want to get the job done. So now that I have those laid down, I'm just going to pull this baker's twine, and I'm going to just pull it and tie, do a little tie with it. And then I am able to pick this up, and I'll wrap the twine around a couple times. And we'll tie it in the back, and you don't have to get it super tight. You're not cinching it completely tight, but just a little. And then what I like to do before I tie that knot, I've got it where it is holding things in place. I just start pulling my ribbons and straightening them out. Now we'll just tie this off in a knot. We'll cut those. Okay, so now we're just going to pull these, and as I said, these are supposed to be 6 inches, and it looks like I cut that one more like 7 inches. So now we have the ribbons all tied, and as I said, you can play with these, pull each of the ribbons out so you can see the various colors. Okay, so next let us take and we will assemble the snowflakes. But before we do that, let's go ahead and attach this to the back and let it dry. If you have a glue gun, that would be great. Or as you can see, I'm just using some of the multi-purpose liquid adhesive, and I'm just going to press that down, and we'll let that start drying as we assemble the snowflake pieces. And for this, I'm just using stamping dimensionals, and we'll start layering these snowflakes, offsetting the various sizes. For the snowflake that you stamp using the cherry cobbler on basic white cardstock, the small mini dimensional works fabulous. Just right in that center. And then for the bedazzling, I just am using a mini glue dot. And you could add more adhesive if you want, but I did not think this would get a lot of handling once it's on here. So that's why one of the dimensionals on each one seemed to be sufficient. But you make the determination if you feel you need more. Now for the sentiment, the Merry Christmas, I have a piece of 3/4 inch by 4.5 inch shimmery white. I just wanted a little bit of shimmer on that, and I'm using the Pick a Banners punch, and I'm using the banner tail, the flag tail to cut. I like to cut first, and then let's stamp our sentiment. Isn't that a gorgeous font? I really like all of the fonts that are used in that new Christmas to Remember. And then before I attach this, what I like to do is I'm just sort of curling it. And then at the very end, flipping the flag tail up. So you just run your bone folder and then come back up. Whoop, I have cherry cobbler on my finger. But this will be hidden, so that's okay. And I'm using a glue dot to adhere. So I'll put a couple glue dots on this one. And then I just am adding it to the back, making sure that you can see the Merry Christmas. I may have that over just a touch too much. Let me pull on it a little. There we go. And then the next step is we will attach this to our ribbons. And there again, I put some of the multi-purpose liquid adhesive on it, but I also took dimensionals, and I took 2 and stacked them, one on top of the other, just so I had a little bit more height. Since this is with that ribbon, it's pretty thick, by layering this, it helps hold it in place. And there. Then our next step is we will add this and just press that and hold it for a few seconds. Obviously, you'll let it sit until the glue is completely dry. Let me just twist this one just a touch. There we go. And then the finishing touch, I'm using the Wonderful Gems. Which are a returning favorite, I believe, but they're in the catalog, mini catalog, and here is mine. And I used the large one to put on here. Just finish that by adding that in the center. There. Now we have completed the ribbon tags to go on the gorgeous box made with the Peaceful Prints Designer Series paper. Hope you've enjoyed this. Have a great rest of your week.